So just in the month of March, I was paid a dividend by 12 different companies, including some legendary dividend kings like Johnson & Johnson and 3M. And in today's video, we're going to go through each of those payments and total them all up at the end so you guys can see exactly how much I made this month. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, my friends, what is going on? It is so great to see you guys. My name is Ryan Williams, and on this channel, I show you how to take steps towards financial freedom by investing in dividend stocks, which I believe is the easiest way to create passive income. Twice a week, I'm coming at you guys with new videos, most of which are dividend stock analyses, as well as updates into my own portfolio that I've been building consistently for the last 2 years now. Every single month, I like to go through my dividend payments with you guys and show you exactly how much I'm making. And I've got to say, guys, so far in 2022, for these first 3 months, we are off to a great start as far as dividend income goes. In January, I collected almost $120 in dividends. In February, about $160. And with all of the payments from this month in March, I'm thinking we're going to finish out the quarter over $400 in total just for these first 3 months. And now to get into these dividend payments, guys, we are going to jump over to the screen. All right, guys, so the first payment I received in the month of March was from AWR, American States Water Company. And on March 1st, they paid me a dividend of $3.69. As you guys can see, I have just over 10 shares of AWR at an average cost per share of $79.17. And right now my position is up nearly 10%. I've seen it up a lot higher. The stock is actually kind of starting to come down in share price, but we're still positive with this guy. And it's not one of the higher dividend paying companies in my portfolio. I think the yield is under 2%, but it is a very reliable dividend paying company. I think they've been paying consistently for over 60 years. At any rate, great way to kick off the month. And going back over here to the second payment, guys, this one came from Intel, who also on March 1st paid me a dividend, and they paid me $12.23, which brings our total so far in the month of March, just on March 1st, to $15.92. Now, in the last month, guys, Intel has really jumped up in share price. As you can see, it's up about 16.3% just in the last 30 days, which puts its share price back above $50 per share, which isn't terrible. And as far as my position goes, I currently have basically 36 shares of Intel at an average cost per share of $51.92. So I'm just barely down in Intel right now, guys, which is fine. I actually would prefer to be down, keep it at a discount so I can pick up more shares and lower my average cost per share. And now moving on to payment number 3, guys, this one came from XYLD, which is one of the covered call ETFs that I have in my portfolio. And on March 2nd, they paid me a dividend of $9.43, which brings our total for the month of March so far to $25.35. And XYLD is the highest yielding stock in my portfolio. As you guys can see, it has a forward dividend yield of 12.21%. And this company actually pays dividends every single month, which is great. It's great to get that steady income coming in from these guys. And I mean, I currently have just under 20 shares of XYLD at an average cost per share of $50.55. So I'm down just a little bit in this position, but I've definitely made more just from the dividends that I have taken a loss in share price appreciation or depreciation in this case. All right, guys, now moving on to the fourth payment that came in March. This one was from JEPI, which is the second covered call ETF in my portfolio, and they paid me a dividend of $7.54, which brings our total so far to $32.89. Now, I currently have about 16 and a half shares of JEPI at an average cost per share of $61.63, so I'm just down a hair in this position. But like XYLD, this is a monthly payer, and I'm really invested more into this ETF to generate that monthly income, and it's got a very high yield. I wonder if we go over here if it'll show us. Okay, so scrolling down, it actually will tell us JEPI has a dividend yield of 7.16%, so another very high yielder. All right, guys, now moving on to payment number 5. This one came from Southern Company, ticker symbol SO, who on March 7th paid me a dividend of $11.57, bringing our total so far in the month of March to $44.46. We are off to a pretty good start. Now, scrolling down, finding my Southern Company position there, you can see it in like the middle of the screen. I currently have 17.7 shares of this company at an average cost per share of $59.89. And I'm up quite a bit, up nearly 20% with Southern Company. So this position has appreciated quite well, and it's a very steady dividend payer. So I'm stoked to be getting the dividend from these guys. All right, guys, now moving on to payment number 6. This one came from Johnson & Johnson, a legendary dividend stock. And in March, Johnson & Johnson paid me $11.58, which brings our total for the month of March so far to $56.04. Now, one of the great things about Johnson & Johnson, as you guys can see. It's got some pretty nice dividend stats. Pretty average yield, payout ratio's in a pretty nice spot. Okay, 5-year growth rate's acceptable, but what really shines here is the dividend growth history. They have 59 years of consecutive dividend growth, making Johnson & Johnson a dividend king. Our first one of the day, actually. And as far as my position in this company goes, I currently have just under, let's just call it 11 shares. Who are we kidding? 11 shares of Johnson & Johnson at an average cost per share of $158.72. And it looks like I'm up about 10% in this company, so not too bad. This one's kind of a slow grower. Really, one would invest more in this company for a reliable dividend. I mean, 59 years of consecutive dividend growth. How much better than that can it get? All right, now moving on to payment number 7. This one came from the most recent addition to my portfolio. This is Snap-on, ticker symbol SNA. And in March, Snap-on paid me a dividend of $8.36. And this is actually my very first dividend payment from Snap-on. I'm very excited to receive this. And this brings our total for the month of March so far to $64.40. So not too shabby, guys, not too shabby. And going back over here, I currently have 7.36 shares of Snap-on at an average cost per share of $211.76. And I'm down just a little bit, down 1.62% in my Snap-on position, which is okay with me. Like I said, I just recently bought into this company. I'm still working on building up my position and building that out. So as I'm buying, I'm very happy to be lowering my average cost per share in the meantime. And I would not mind if Snap-on keeps going down. It's not at a terrible price right now, but I still do think it has some room to continue coming down and become more affordable. So I would like to see that from this company. And in the meantime, I'm still going to be buying. All right, guys, moving on to payment number 8. This came from one of the 2 energy stocks in my portfolio, Chevron, ticker symbol CVX. And in March, Chevron paid me a dividend of $18.53, which is so nice. And I'll tell you guys what, I'm sure a lot of you know this already, but Chevron has been on a roll. Year to date, guys, just in the first 3 months of 2022, Chevron has climbed nearly 41% in share price. And as far as my position goes, guys, you're not even going to believe this when you see it. My Chevron position is currently up almost 82%. 82%. And I'm just now seeing this. I officially have a 4-figure gain in this stock. I'm up $1,001.10. Unreal. But anyway, guys, I have 13 shares of Chevron at an average cost per share of $92.92. It's just blowing my mind. I'm sorry, guys. You're getting my raw, uncut, live action reaction to seeing this gain. It's crazy. And real quick, I don't know if I shared this already, but with the payment that came in from Chevron, that brings our total for the month of March to $82.93. Now moving on to the 9th payment, this one came from 3M, and this month 3M paid me a dividend of $15.84, which brings our total so far to $98.77. We are almost over 100, guys, and I'm really loving 3M right now. I've been picking up a few shares here and there, putting some money towards it. They're at a pretty nice discount right now, and their dividend stats are really not looking too shabby as a result of that. As you can see on the screen, they officially have a 4% dividend yield, and this company is a dividend king. It's a legendary dividend stock. They have 63 years of consecutive dividend growth, so I'm happy to be adding a little bit more of this into my portfolio right now while it's at a discount. Now, as far as my position goes with 3M, it's right there at the top. I have 11.78 shares basically of 3M at an average cost per share of $165.74. And as we just mentioned, 3M is at a discount. My position is down 9.5% overall, which is one of the reasons I'm totally fine buying more of this stock right now, because as I'm picking up more shares while my position is down, I'm lowering that average cost per share, bringing it back down, which is going to help minimize my losses right now. And it's also going to help me potentially get a better return in the future. The lower your average cost per share, the higher your potential return in the future if the stock does appreciate. All right, guys, moving on to payment number 10. This one came from Old Faithful, Realty Income, ticker symbol O. Realty Income pays a dividend every single month. They're actually known as like the monthly dividend company. Just fun fact for you guys. And in the month of March, they paid me a dividend of $9.02, which brings our total so far to $107.79. Now, I currently have 36.7 shares of Realty Income at an average cost per share of $56.45. And right now my position's doing really good, up over 20% with Realty Income, which I think is the most gain I've seen it. Maybe I've seen it a little higher, like 25% or so before, but at any rate, it's doing pretty well as far as share price appreciation goes. And I haven't been contributing to this position for a long time. I actually don't remember the last time I actually bought some shares outside of the dividends being reinvested. Looking here, it looks like it was back in January 15th, 2021, I picked up 10 shares. But everything after that, as you can see, guys, all these fractional shares, those are just dividends being reinvested every single month. At any rate, guys, moving on, getting into the next payment. This one came from Main Street Capital Corporation, and this is our second to last payment of the day. Main Street Capital Corporation paid me a dividend of $6.37 in March, which brings our total to $114.16. Now, as far as my main position goes, Main Street Capital position goes, guys, I have 29.76 shares at an average cost per share of $39.39. So my position's up about 7%. Now moving on to the last payment I received in March, guys. This one actually hasn't hit in my brokerage account yet, so I can't show you the actual payment, but it will be coming from Lockheed Martin, who I believe should be paying me $10.22 if my math is correct. And if my math is correct, that brings our total for the month of March to $124.38, which is nice. Very, very nice. Just basically $125 for doing absolutely nothing except for owning shares in all of these companies that we just went through. A lot of high quality companies too. Johnson & Johnson, Chevron, some really great companies in there that paid these dividends. And that's why I say it's like the easiest way to create passive income, because I didn't have to lift a finger. It just came in on autopilot, guys. But anyway, moving on, this wraps up the first quarter of 2022. And for the entire quarter, January, February, and March, in total, I received $403.42 in dividends, which is unreal, guys. Let me think. I bet you that's probably like 20 trips to In-N-Out Burger for me, which means I could go at least once a week. But you guys know me, I don't spend my dividends on In-N-Out Burger or anything else. I just reinvest them back into the companies that I own to buy more shares, which in time is going to create more income. And this is what we call the snowball effect, because once you just repeat the cycle, guys, over time, it gets pretty ridiculous to how it can compound and grow. Like at some point you do this for a matter of 15, 20, 30 years, you can imagine it's going to grow to a pretty sizable amount of money. At any rate, guys, this wraps it up for March. Now what I want to do is show you what payments I'm expecting to receive in the month of April. But to do that, we're going to jump over to the screen. All right, guys, so what we are looking at here is my portfolio on the Dividend Tracker, which is one of the platforms that I use to track the performance of my portfolio and the growth. And this nifty tool right here is the payout calendar. It shows us all of the payments that we can expect to receive month by month by month. Getting into the individual payments, Jeppy is going to be paying a dividend in April. We know that because it's a monthly payer, but some of the quarterly payers that we're going to be receiving are Coca-Cola. They're going to pay a dividend. Altria Group, ticker symbol MO, they're going to be paying a dividend. That's another very high yielding dividend stock. Realty Income, we know that. And then also WP Carey, which is one of the real estate investment trusts in my portfolio. They're going to be paying a dividend, which should be about $18, which is nice, which brings the total to about $150. So that'll be very exciting. Some good companies paying in the month of April. At any rate, guys, if you're hungry for more dividend stock content and want to see all of the other dividend payments that I've received so far in 2022, click this link right up over here and check out this playlist. This will show you all of my dividend payments from January and February, so some good stuff in there. At any rate, I will now get out of your hair. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you guys supporting me on this journey, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great day.